Hey everybody, welcome to the Bamboo Method Podcast, Investing in the Unseen. This is where we talk about the things that are worth investing in, even if you can't see the return right away. I'm Sam, one of your hosts.
I'm Wade, usually the producer.
I
get to be on camera a little more this time.
This is a special episode. We don't do this all the time. Oftentimes we like to have guests who can speak well to the topic. And today you get to hear from me and Wade.
The most important things in life usually take time.
Indeed. If you have watched any of the previous episodes, you might notice that it looks a little different.
Chances are you haven't. But just in case you did.
If you're one of our moms,
yeah,
and you're like, what's going on here? We're in the same place. They just painted it black and we actually like it. So we're going to run with it.
Heck yeah. We're 10 episodes in. This is episode number 11. Did you ever think you were going to be a podcast host?
I mean, I tried once before and I think we got one episode out there.
Okay. Yeah. That's how a lot of them go.
It is. I was part of that statistic that says like 90% of podcasts only get one episode out.
Yeah.
We had a couple recorded that we didn't get out just in that season of life. Just didn't work out. But no, I don't know that I ever really, even with that, I didn't have a huge desire for it or expectation that this would be something I'd pursue seriously.
Yeah, it's fun though. I was part of a couple podcasts that went over 100 episodes, which is fun.
Yeah. You did a lot of podcast, like episode editing, right?
Yeah. And then I made probably half a dozen on my own. So it's cool to be part of another one that feels a little more like our creation, my creation, us together, like thinking about the whole idea of it and then carrying it through.
Yeah.
Editing, setting up the lights, everything.
Yeah.
It's also fun to do video podcasts.
That's a fun aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It feels a lot closer to, you're not as far away. When it's just audio, you feel like it's could be a little disconnected, but you can kind of see the people a little bit more, especially being able to have guests on. It's cool to be able to.
They tend to be a little more raw too.
A little more raw.
You're not going to edit every single microsecond like in audio, which is funny because I thought there was going to be more of doing a video, and there is more to produce, but you actually do less of the actual editing from my experience.
Well, there's less that you can do.
Sure. Yeah.
If you're just doing a radio edit, you can pretty much make them say whatever you want to. If you want to get in and manipulate it.
That's true.
For those of you out there who didn't know that, there's a lot of power in editing. Not that we take those liberties, but when you're doing video, you don't have those freedoms as much.
It's true.
So that does added dynamic and makes it a lot of fun. If you're listening to this and you haven't watched it, maybe this is a good opportunity to go check out the video versions as well. You get to see all the great guests, and I think you just get to know them a little bit more when you can watch them.
See our great guests, see our ugly mugs.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay, so this is episode 11. What have you learned? What's your takeaway so far?
There's been a lot of them. Really cool things to learn from our guests, just the conversations that we've had. I think one of the things that I keep thinking about and coming back to is the reality that so much of the things that we invest in and the improvements that we see often can go unnoticed. Even in conversations we've had with some of our guests, their responses and answers to the questions of the things that they're investing in, it's going to take time, lead to a thing that they didn't even think was a thing.
Okay, say more.
So it's become such a natural thing for them to invest in certain things in their life that is valuable. It might be tied to a core belief or just something that they think is really important. And it's so natural, so a part of who they are, that it's fairly unnoticed, but it is impactful and powerful. A great example is Lynn.
Yeah.
We asked her and she had some great answers and some great thoughts on the things that it's worth, investing in for the long haul. But one of the things that wasn't a specific answer was that she writes notes a lot.
Right. Yeah. She kind of said it in an offhand way. Like, I write a lot of notes. And we're like, hold on, you write a lot of notes? Like, people don't do that very much anymore. Thank you notes. Hi, I'm thinking about you. Like handwritten, like you might text your friend, but to actually receive a piece of mail that's just because they wanted to say hi, that like does not happen anymore.
Yeah.
Very often. At least not my experience.
Yeah. and it's easy to just kind of overlook it. It seems maybe somewhat insignificant.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it once was significant to her, but like you said, it was just kind of simple statement,
Yeah.
and it was really impactful to me. I'm like, that's really cool. That's a big
Mm-hmm.
deal. And those are the kind of things that, hoping to unearth a little bit with this podcast and have discussions about is what are those things that might seem insignificant, might go unnoticed either to yourself,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it can, or to the people around you. And I've just been amazed at how often that is a thing, that the growth that we want to see, the improvements, it's easy to just for it to go unnoticed at times. And I think that's true in life, that there are things that when it gets better, when it gets more valuable, you expect that it's going to be like everyone's going to notice and it's going to be a big deal. Sometimes it goes in the other direction.
Yeah.
And you even see that in production, things like audio, really good audio. If it's done right, you don't actually notice it.
Right.
You only notice the bad audio. You don't
Mm-hmm.
really notice if it's like got static in it or it's distant or it's hard to hear. It's done really well. Like no one goes to a movie, leaves and goes, that audio, like it's super crisp. I could hear everything they said. Like
Right. You take it for granted.
take it for granted.
Yeah.
It's unnoticed.
Yeah.
When done right. I mean, they might talk about the music, the score, those types of things, but they're not talking about how well the audio was captured.
Yeah.
But some of those movies required some like high level technology or skills or know-how, equipment, whatever it would be.
Mm-hmm.
And that can just be so true in life that you'd think the better it gets, the more people are going to notice it.
Yeah. It's
May not be
like
true.
as someone gets better at a skill, it actually becomes less noticeable because they can do it effortlessly. It seems effortless.
The effort.
Yeah.
Yes. The effortlessness.
Yeah.
It can make it seem also, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We had a conversation the other day with someone who was talking about filming and just the composition, and it just seemed so natural. It's like, it's probably easy to capture. Like, I think I can get that. And, when it becomes more natural and effortless, or when it becomes more natural to consume or to do, it can feel like, oh, I could do that.
Yeah. Like I saw a reel the other day that was like designing the McDonald's logo in 30 seconds. It's like, okay, well, yeah, you can like create the logo in 30 seconds. It's just a couple arches, yellow, red.
Yeah.
But like the actual intentionality that went into designing it, designing and executing, two different things.
Yeah.
And so it seems effortless when it's done. It's so simple. It's just two arches. But to get to that point was anything but simple.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I could quantify. I have no idea how many hours it took to get there, but I'm sure it was countless. And I'm sure it was a whole career of graphic design that led up to that point of being able to design a logo that simple.
Yeah. Yeah. Many logos could fit in that. Apple logo, Nike logo.
Logo.
You don't have to get that, in depth as a designer to be able to execute, to replicate it.
Right.
I think a lot of people could learn how to use Photoshop, Illustrator well enough to recreate the Apple logo, Nike, pretty quickly probably. But to get to the point of making those decisions,
to create it from scratch,
to come up with the idea. And again, it's easy to think as a designer, and this will play out, and it does play out in some ways. Some things that people design and create are technically really challenging and complex. But it's funny how often when you go towards like better and better and better and better, then you actually start to come back towards simple, natural. Yeah. And it's those really simple, natural things that maybe a 5-year-old could do.
Yeah.
Obviously never would come up with the idea, sure. But it's those simple things. And even it bring it full circle back to the thing with Lynn, writing notes. It doesn't take a high level of skill. It's just simple, but the power of it.
Yeah. It's the intentionality.
Impact. Yeah. Intentionality of time.
Yeah.
And being able to go that far, come all the way back full circle to simple, I think is a common note of like, there's a lot of growth here. And people can make things seem effortless and natural, easy to consume. I mean, even in communication is the same kind of thing. The best communicators can take a really complex idea, and they're not going to still use all these big words that you have to understand it and its complexity, but they can make it seem really simple. So simple that it's like, I should have thought of that.
Yeah.
And when you think that, you know that they did it right.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no way I ever could have actually gone it, because you went into the complexity and came back and made it simple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like usually it's a negative connotation, but like boiling a frog in hot water. It's like they don't notice the 1 degree,
Yep.
1 degree, 1 degree until it's boiling and, the frog is boiled. Obviously, that's usually a negative connotation, but the point still stands that like you don't notice the 1 degree every day, but from the start to the end is a huge difference.
Yeah.
Communication is another one of those too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that can feel, as a creative, as an artist, as a business owner, there's a tension in that, like that realization. I think sometimes as you grow, you like selfishly, the vain part of me, I'm like, I want people to notice, like
Yeah.
I'm getting better.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can feel like, oh man, like, and I think, the right people notice, and with certain things it is noticeable. Like, that's a nuanced concept on whether people notice it or whether they even should or need to. But sometimes, again, the better you get, like it's almost less noticeable how good it is.
Yeah.
And that can feel like an odd thing. That's like, wait, I would want it to be like, more complex and more flair. And, we have a huge background in drumming. If you guys didn't know, we're drummers.
Yep.
And like the telltale sign of a immature drummer or musician is when they're just flaring. It's like
doing too much.
I'm just like all the chops and like speed and fat. It's like, I feel like I got to show everything and do all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, really good musician knows their pocket to sit in.
Yeah.
And they just execute that really well. And again, from a complexity or a skill level, oftentimes like some of the best music, not that hard. Coldplay, I think a lot of people could go look up the chords, play them on the piano.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But incredible songwriting, and that's what got them there, is like, it's the execution. And but again, it comes back to the idea of like, that can feel sometimes unsatisfying because it's like, I could do that.
Yeah. I can play those chords.
Yeah.
Yeah. But to get to the point where you're saying go and come back, to get to the musical skill level, to be able to do, 100 different things, arbitrary number, but to come back to the one thing, shows your skill level and experience by what you don't do, what you hold back on. And then when the situation calls for that 100, you have the ability to do it, but only when it's called for.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And it just shows character as well, I think.
Yeah.
Like it can feel unsatisfying to be like, oh, it's not noticeable. So am I doing it to be noticed?
Right. Yeah.
Or am I doing it because I care about whatever it is that I'm doing and that it's done right?
The experienced person, professional, does what's best for the whole.
Yeah.
Right. Not just what's best for them or what they want to do. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like after 10 episodes, it's just really come up a lot that a lot of growth and movement, pursuit of excellence, often the steps that you want to be significant can be unnoticed or unseen, which comes back to the podcast.
It's kind of funny. Like the whole point is that it's unnoticed, or like investing in the unseen. But then when you actually ask about it, it's hard to put a finger on it.
It's hard to put a finger on it. And sometimes it's even unnoticed to yourself.
Yeah.
So we had our guest, Lynn, for example, share. She had some great examples. And then she offhandedly talked about writing notes a lot. And that wasn't her specific answer to the question, but that really hit me. I'm like, that's a big deal. And I think she knew it was a big deal. That's why she did it, obviously. She cared about it. But it was so natural to her that it just was like, it didn't register as like, this is my, thing that's a bamboo effort for me.
Yeah. She didn't write that down on the bamboo method sheet, because it's so natural for her she didn't even think of it as a thing she did.
Exactly.
It just was. It's like breathing. It just, you don't think about it as like, what's my favorite thing to do? It's like, I breathe. It's like, well, yeah, you don't think of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a lot of growth even externally. When when we want to get better at something, you think every single step's going to be noticeable and like a big deal. But sometimes the better you get, the less noticeable it is. As a music example, my brother used to be a part of this band called Sky Collide. Hello, guys, if you're listening, and you out there, Grant, Parker, Bart, Matt, Jordan, good
that
guys.
Sounds like a 2000s band.
2000s alternative Christian music. Awesome. I was a impassioned groupie of this band.
Sure.
But they went and did some shows, and there was one song where my brother was the lead guitarist, and he just had chords that he was playing really fast, and that like finished out the song, and then it ended with just the guitar, and he carried it out. And at this one show, there's a kid up at the front. Everyone could hear it at the end. He just goes, "I could do that. He's just playing fast."
He said it out loud.
Oh, everyone could hear it, and it's just kind of this like, and that's always just like stuck out to me as like, one, it's just kind of funny.
That's hilarious.
But it comes back to this idea that's like, well, like on that one, probably not. Like playing fast and sustaining it is actually challenging.
Yeah, so you actually have to be pretty good to do that.
Yeah.
Probably.
But there is a level of like, if that's all you're trying to do, sure, you might be able to learn that in like a month or two or a year. You're like, the road to playing that is fairly short, but the road to writing that as an appropriate part for a song, that's a long road. And that's what music is, right? We're not just learning parts. We're learning something that connects with someone else in a deep way. And so being able to write that stuff and know how to play it, know when to play it and how to play it right and all that kind of stuff. There's a technicality in just the design of that and the writing of that can so often be missed and unnoticed. It's
like the difference between a cover band and the original band.
Yeah.
Like, obviously you have to be a fairly solid musician to be a cover band.
Yep.
To be an AC/DC cover band, you got to be like pretty good at, playing all the instruments. But the difference, like execution is fairly easy. The road is straightforward. You can just practice and get better at playing guitar, and then you can play that AC/DC part. But to come up with that part, to create the music from scratch, that's a whole different level.
Yep.
Before we move on from music, I guess Darren King, I know we've brought him up before.
Oh, yeah.
But, so Sam was my drum teacher back in the day. And part of the Loon lore is the drum teaching. But I remember the first Mute Math song I played, as homework. I came into the lesson, played the song, and you told me, like, let's listen to it again, like, play it again. Okay, I played it again. I'm like, yeah, it wasn't perfect, but, I'm getting there. Like, you're doing something that isn't there. Like, just listen to it really closely. Listen, don't play, listen. And I couldn't figure it out just by listening, but you broke it to me that he doesn't use crash cymbals. So he only has the ride and the hi-hat. And if you don't know what those are, you can look it up on your own time. But
go Google it.
He doesn't have a bunch of cymbals, not everything. He just has two cymbals. And so I was hitting all these cymbals up here when really they didn't even exist in the song he recorded.
Maybe just do a vocal walkthrough on what, like the hi-hat, ride, crash.
Hi-hats on the side. It's more like ride. Yeah, sure. Yeah. And then ride is a ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
You were joking, were you?
No.
And crash cymbals are like, ksh, ksh.
It's funny though. I was like, I didn't want you to do that. Yeah. No, that was it. Yeah.
So I was playing crash cymbals and the music didn't call for it because Darren King, the drummer, didn't use them. And, it just shows the skill level of he can make the cymbals, the limited number of cymbals he had sound different to the point that even me as a drummer, obviously I'm not a professional, but I had been playing drums for many years and I was doing things that I didn't even notice that there were crash cymbals in the song, but I was still playing them. So it just goes to that effortless. He can effortlessly make these noises, these sounds, this music. And even an experienced musician, I didn't even notice. Not that experienced, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, getting into the nerdiness of it a little bit, like for those of you who don't play drums, not having crashes is a pretty like bold move.
Yeah, that's unique.
It's unique. And there's been a couple of people who've done that I've known since then. I don't know if they knew of Darren King or how it came about. I'd never heard of anyone ever not having a crash cymbal in a drum set.
Yeah.
You know, the simplest kit at this point, which was pretty common, is like a trap kit and had 2 crashes.
Sure.
That was pretty common. But to just take out crash cymbals is like, that's a thing.
Like you can play drums.
Is that allowed? I don't think that's allowed.
Yeah.
And so, which is pretty just cool again, in the experience and skill level to make that decision, be like, I'm just going to take these out because I don't need them.
Mm-hmm.
Just, speaks to you could say a lot of things about it. Less is more, you know, the whole simplicity and all that. Yeah. But also there was nothing actually simple about what he did. You know, there is also a lot of skill and complexity to that, but just that move was huge. And, I could nerd out on Darren King.
Yeah, we can talk about Darren King all day. He's already come up in the last podcast we did together.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Maybe we can limit it to like 2 a year.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Fine art would be another example of like that effortlessness showing up. You know, abstract art usually gets a bad rap. It's just like a 5-year-old could paint that. They're just like splotches on the canvas. Splatters of paint. Like, what's the big deal? And even for me, I spent a semester in New York. And so there's all these, you know, world-class museums, art museums there. And so one museum, I saw Jackson Pollock for the first time. He is a painter from Wyoming, and he's kind of a pioneer in the abstract art world. He wouldn't even paint them vertically. He would actually lay them down on the floor and would drip paint onto the canvas.
Yeah.
And, you know, that was pretty... As far as I'm no art expert, but I think that was fairly unique for the time. And, you know, at first glance, you just see that it's the big deal. It's just a bunch of drips. A 5-year-old could do that. I could have made that.
Yep.
First of all, did you though?
Yep.
I mean, that's first question.
Absolutely.
Jackson Pollock actually did it.
Yep.
But secondly, you know, so I personally just didn't get abstract art. I'm like, well, yeah, what's the big deal? But when you actually stand in front of a piece, you know, these pieces can be like 10 feet wide, and the scale of it is moving, but then also the longer I spent staring at it, the more I could just see all the intentionality. And it felt like it was just very visceral, and that like you could just see like the physical splotches of paint, like they stuck out of the painting, and there's a lot of texture. And I don't know, I'm nerding out about Jackson Pollock now, but I could just feel like you could feel the artist's hands on it, basically. Even though he didn't literally touch it, he just dripped paint. You could just feel like every stroke, every paint drip, you could just tell he did it on purpose. Like, even if it was instincts, he got to the point in his painting career that he could do it just by instinct. And then also he knew when to walk away. Yeah. That's the other thing. You know, Darren King didn't do the crash cymbals. He could have, but he didn't. It's when the artist holds back that also shows that skill level. Like, I don't know how he knew, okay, that was the very last drip. Like, how do you even know? Like, you're not going to put one more drop of paint in the top. Like, how do you know when it's done? But he did, and the piece was done. And so I remember just feeling super moved by it, and just staring at it for, 10 minutes and being like, okay, that's the deal with abstract art. I guess it is a thing, you know? And there's another piece that it sounds really stupid, but it just moved me in the moment. They wrote 5 digits. So they wrote 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 2 over and over, filling the entire canvas. And it sounds really stupid. And like, what do you,
I want to see what it looks like now.
It's awesome because not only obviously the numbers are changing, you could tell when he dipped, or she, I guess, I don't know if it was he or she, you could tell when the artist dipped their paintbrush back in the ink. Yeah. So it was like dark, and then it slowly got lighter and lighter. Yeah. Dark. And so it actually created like a cascading, effect. And so stuff like that is just like that intentionality. It feels so simple. It's like, well, anyone could just write numbers over and over. But
Yeah.
We,
didn't.
well, they didn't.
I'm sure the amount
They're
of
the
time
ones
it
that did.
took to create that too.
Yeah.
And to keep going, the dedication to
Mhm.
that idea is significant.
Yeah.
And I think when we talk about the idea of unnoticed, again, that's a little like arbitrary. And you speak to the idea of just like resonance when you resonate with something,
Right.
which is like an element of noticing. You may not be able to say why
Mhm.
something speaks to you, but it does.
It's a feeling.
And when things are done right, it is noticed.
Mhm.
When things are quality, when it's excellence is achieved, you can absolutely tell. So there is a difference, and there is all that, but that why is missing. And not that you have to have that, but there is something, so powerful in that strong connection when it's like you can tell like something there. Yeah, you can feel it.
Not sure what it is, but it's something.
Yeah. You can't really put your finger on it. Oftentimes you can't really describe it, but it's there.
Yeah, like why is your favorite song your favorite song?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could try to explain it, but just the feeling it creates, right?
Yeah, which kind of comes back to you really have to ask that question. First, you have to ask, why am I doing the things that I'm doing and going to keep putting the effort into it? And it's part of the whole point of this podcast is like, what are the things that are worth continuing to put time and energy and effort into, even though it might go unnoticed, investing in the unseen. It might be unseen or it may not be seen for a long time or whatever it would be, but what are those things that are worth doing that? And you have to ask like, what's my motivation behind it? And if it is to be noticed and seen, it's like you're maybe pick something else or like really rethink your motivations in life, I guess. And every human being has that desire to be seen and noticed and acknowledged. And I don't think that's all bad. I think that's an important human connection. Want to know that we have value and, but when we're putting effort and energy into something, it really brings you back to that core question of why are you doing it and why does it matter? And once you land on really the purpose of what you're doing, and if that's the most important thing, you just keep putting it, knowing that it's going to translate eventually. And especially speaking the art space, but I think anything else it's when you think about relationship, it's like even that. It's like it's not about going noticed, but I'm going to do these things, write letters. I'm going to keep doing these things that matter to this person over the course of time, knowing that eventually it's going to translate to something really meaningful for them.
Yeah, it's like you can tell what the most important things in each guest's life is, or guest on the podcast in this case, or the artist's life, whatever. The most important things, the most valuable things in life to that person are probably those things that they spend the most time on day in, day out, that take a long time to see the fruit of.
Yeah.
The last episode is Jessica Hannison. She, is an amazing designer, interior designer, amongst many other things, but she brought up her kids as the personal thing she's nurturing. And, kids feels like a bit of an easy answer, but it's, you could just tell is the absolute truth. That's like what she cares the most about in the world are her kids and her husband. And so those are the things she's going to spend the most time on. And so, for Jackson Pollock, one of the most important things in his life, I assume, was creating the best art he possibly could. That's why he did it for so long. It speaks to your character, I feel like, and you can tell a lot about someone by what those things are that they spend a lot of time on. Lynn is our example, for the day, seems like, is the writing notes. She just truly cares about other people, how they're doing. So she's going to put in that little bit of effort. It may not seem like a lot, but a little bit of effort every day adds up to a lot.
Absolutely.
And you can tell a lot about her from that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and you just think about we could tell because we also talked about it, but the people around her can tell because they experience it.
Yeah.
And so the impact, the wake of that, one of the visuals that I love when you think about like legacy, is a term that Henry Cloud talks about. Your wake. It's like a boat's wake, the ripples.
The ripples. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. What's your wake like? What's it like being around you and behind you? And, so you think about like everyone feels those ripples that keeps coming. It's like you said, it's just so evident. And if we asked people around her, they may not even say like, oh, it's because she writes letters.
Yeah, right.
She writes these notes. They may not even be able to put a finger on it, but they just know it's like she cares about me.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell, like all the things.
Yeah.
But like maybe they would be able to give the why, maybe not. But you know that they feel it, and that like connection piece is there when you can see this. Like, oh, there's the care and intentionality and time put into that.
Mm-hmm. What do you hope your wake is like?
Whoa!
Personally or
what
professionally? Yeah.
Getting deep, dude.
Well, hey.
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, first and foremost, I hope that my wake just points to Jesus. That, like people around me, it's all about Jesus. And I think the next one would be maybe I care most about my wake is that who's most impacted by my wake. And that would be like my family.
Mm.
You know, I've just heard stories where like this guy is a true story of a guy, he went to his dad's funeral and everyone got up and just talked about how incredible he was. And he got up and he's like, sounds like a great guy. I didn't know him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, ooh.
Wow. Yeah, that
and it's
hits,
like he worked so hard to be a good guy for all of you guys. And in the midst of it, like he wasn't a horrible dad. I just didn't see him.
Yeah.
So for me, like it's not just about having that wake and legacy, but it's like who's the primary recipients of that.
Yeah.
And so that would like first and foremost be my wife and my kids, and that they would always get the best of me, always get the best of me.
Yeah.
And then the people when everyone's around me, that they would feel seen and heard, and like that they have a safe place.
Yeah.
And I think authenticity, like that, they feel like they know me, they feel like they're known, and that deep like connection, I think is a big deal.
Yeah.
What about you? Wake and legacy.
Yeah. I mean, before I get maybe to my wake, it also brings to mind Luke Anderson's episode.
Yeah.
Again, we'll have links to these to listen to. Luke's was a really good episode too. They've all been awesome. But he talked about working with business owners, and these business owners are building it for their family, right? They're working day in, day out to build a legacy, a business, wealth, whatever that may be. But they might lose sight of actually being there for their kids. And so it's kind of like this really sad irony, like the story you brought up of, who are you building it for? Your kids. Well, they might be the ones that lose out on, that connection. What you say, I think, speaks to that, and that you do keep your family first. And so what you're building it for, you also get to connect with and enjoy and love.
It can be so easy to get lost in all that.
Right.
And I think we live in a world that's so busy. Right. There's so much stuff. It can just be so easy to have your mind occupied by what's coming, what already happened. And like one of my biggest challenges, this is hard for me to do, but I work hard on it, just being present. Yeah. It's like, are you in the moment? Like I might be building something for my kids, but right now they just need me. Yeah. Not what I'm building for them to be there. And I think that's true for other people. It's like, do you have time for me? We're all just so busy. It's like, I think if people could say something about me, obviously that I point to Jesus, but at the end of the day, that they'd just say like, he had time for me. And when he was there, he was there. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, your daughter just turned 5. It's like, well, I'm sure someday she'll understand like, oh yeah, dad built this business, he raised us, he provided for us. All those things are important. But when she's 5, it's like, she just wants to be with you. Yeah. Just have fun. Like, yeah. Or, I think it's easy to like, I don't have kids, but whenever I'm around kids, go straight to like, oh, you got to like do all the crazy stuff, like go on a trip or, vacation, all those things. It's like, well, they really just want to talk with you. And like, I love just listening to a 4-year-old talks. Like, I don't like just listening to him is so fun. Oh yeah. And so like in that moment, yeah, of course, like do those experiences and big stuff is important, parties, whatever. But yeah, those core memories are probably the really small things that just took time, took intentionality, took being present. Yeah. In that moment. Yeah. Well, it's easy to think of again, it comes back to a bit of what we were talking about at the beginning of like what's noticed and what's seen.
Yeah.
It's easy to think in all things of life, relationships, marriage, parenting, business, you're kind of seeking these like big moments.
Yeah.
You think, and to parenting, you think there's going to be these big
Yeah.
moments, the trip to Disneyland, the birthday, the
graduation,
graduate.
Yeah.
And I think life is mostly, if not exclusively, a bunch of small moments and a bunch of small decisions that build on each other and are, if by itself, unnoticed and unseen.
Sure.
But over time, have that impact.
They all add up.
Yeah. And that can, again, feel somewhat unsatisfying. That it's like, it's like, I'm just waiting for these big moments to be like the dad of the year.
Yeah.
Like
I made it.
Yeah. Like this, like Instagram worthy, like gonna like be a core memory moment that my kid can always remember. When it's just more important to have so many like meaningful touches, little things every day, consistency.
Yeah.
That's the long game.
Yep.
And it's not glamorous. It's often not exciting. The things that matter to them, it's generally, like you said, just having a conversation. Do you have time for me? Can you look me in the eye?
Yeah.
Can you play this game really quick that you might not enjoy? I have a question for you. Can you, whatever it be? It's just like these little things, bunch of little things.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even thinking about, my own dad, it's like, of course there were big moments and going on fun trips, stuff like that. But like, I just always think about how much we would laugh and like make voices and, just those are the things that kind of stick with me, come to mind quickly is just laughing and having, doing British accents and like Monty Python sketches. It's like, imitating a Monty Python sketch is not a dad of the year moment seemingly from the surface, but that's what I remember. And that's what I, cherish. Thinking about your wake, what are some of those tangible things you actually do day in, day out to leave that wake that you're hoping to?
Yeah, it is a little hard to think of for a couple reasons. One, sometimes you just don't notice. Yeah. And two, that's kind of the whole thing that we're talking about, the irony of it. Also, I'm like, can I actually say this out loud and claim, that I do this? Because I'm like, oh, look, some of the harsh judge in my head is like, well, you're not, great at that. But I'll say the things that I would say are somewhat aspirational. I'm not perfect, but I strive for and are like a big deal to me. And that is, being present with my kids. So just having my phone down, looking them in the eye, reading books to them and with them, playing the games. We have a game that we play frequently called Lava Monster. It's literally just wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm the lava monster.
Sure.
They try to take me down.
Yep.
We go until someone cries.
Oh yeah. We had a game like that was just throw pillows at dad. Yeah. And we played it and had a lot of fun. I remember what the name of it was. I think we had a name, but you played it until one of us hit our head on the corner of the bookcase and then it was over.
Yep. It's inevitable.
Yeah.
With 5 kids, someone's eventually going to get hurt. I always try to cut it off right before that's going to happen.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's hard.
Probably half the time you get there, maybe. Yes.
Yeah. And just having like consistent traditions. Our daughter just turned 5 and every year or every birthday we go get donuts. And we have donuts there that they wake up to. It's not a huge deal, but it's just a consistent thing that we do. Yeah. I don't know if they'll ever remember it, but just like that small thing of donuts every time for birthdays.
All your kids, right?
All kids. And so Potter was even asking about it because I took him with me to go get the donuts this time and you got to help pick him out. And he was asking about it. And I was like, we've had 25 or in 2 weeks, our other daughter turns 3 and we'll have had 25 birthdays up to this point with all the kids. And we've done it 25 times. And so, so things like that, it was seemingly insignificant and little are the things that I strive to just have these consistencies. Reading every night with them the Bible before they go to bed. And if they're asking for something from me, my gut response is it's so much easier to just say no. And I try to have to find a good reason to say no before I say no.
What's an example?
Something as simple as can you play right now? Or can you read this book to me? Can I have a banana or a snack? or can we go do this thing? If they're wanting something from me, oftentimes it's a bid for connection.
Mm-hmm.
And so instead of like they're asking for attention, instead of it just being the easy answer of like no, like what's a yes that I can say? If what they're asking for is not possible, how can I adjust that to something that I can do?
Yeah.
Instead of the easy no. Or sometimes it's just my energy and I'm just like, oh, it's just easier if you just go play on your own. So like saying yes whenever I can.
Yeah.
That's hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but that's one that I continue to try to do and strive towards is not be like, take the easy route of just say no.
Was that something that you like heard about, or like how did that develop?
Yeah, so I a little bit of just like I've experienced it as a dad, and then I've heard a friend of mine talked about how a similar thing. He's like, just say yes as often as you can. If there's not a good reason to say no, say yes to your kids all the time.
Yeah.
And so
You're asking for candy over and over. Yeah,
yeah,
you have a reason to say no.
that's a good reason to say no.
Sure.
Exactly. If you want ice cream for dinner, that's a good reason to say no.
Yeah.
But as a parent, no just becomes such an easy answer, and in a simple no, as opposed to like, how do we adjust it?
Yeah.
Like, hey, can we go to the park today? And it's like, or can we go to the park right now? Instead of just being like, no, it's like, how do I adjust that to like, well, we can't do that today, but we could make time for that tomorrow.
Sure.
And just how do I make it not just a no, or thinking this is a bid for connection.
Right.
What they're wanting is probably me or time with me or something in that. So how can I give that to them? What's the yes in that, as opposed to just no to what they ask for? They may not even be asking the right question. So how can I restructure it to be like, this is actually what you're looking for. How about I read you a book? How about we do this thing that I know you're going to love, and we get to hang out and spend time together.
Yeah.
So that can be a tough one, and it takes energy. And with 5 young kids, you can ask my wife, I can tend to lean towards just the no.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's a tough one, but that I think paves the way for a lot of opportunities to be present with them and have experiences. And it can also feel like this little thing, a no here's fine, but a little yes here, a little yes here. Those are the little moments that are going to matter over the course of time.
Yeah. And those pay dividends, right? It's like, that's an investment that just grows with time. Yeah. And the little things matter.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And just those little points of intentionality, like be seen and known. One thing I do that I've done with my 4 oldest is I have a secret handshake with each of them. And it's just a lot of fun. And so they each have their own, and we get to add like a new thing to it, every few weeks. But it's just one of those things that, like, with 5 kids, it's so hard to create any individuality. Sure. There's so many group things.
Yeah.
So many things we do, it's hard to get them all one-on-one.
Yeah.
And I know as time goes on, there will be that tension of like each of them feeling seen and heard individually and being able to give them what they need on their own.
Yeah.
And just my time to be able to do that.
Because you have limits.
I have my limits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've hit them a number of times.
Sure.
And so that was one thing I decided to do. I actually saw it on Instagram of this dad had these secret handshakes with all of his kids. And I'm just like, that is so cool. I'm going to do that. Heck yeah. And so, and they love it. It's just so much fun that it's just a thing that they have with just me. And so, and that I hope is something that we continue to carry through all of their childhood. And when they're adults, it's like, this is mine and yours. Yeah.
You're going to be in the wheelchair and they're just going to be hitting you with
yeah.
that secret handshake.
Yeah.
That's like 5 minutes long by that point.
Yeah.
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 Awesome.
Which means I should probably not have any moves that require jumping.
Sure. Yeah. Think about that.
Yeah.
So long term here.
Yes. Long term.
Yeah.
What can I do sitting down?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thinking about my own wake, I never heard the term wake. I obviously have heard like ripple effect or things like that. I guess I hope. Yeah. I'd hope that my wake is just like net positive. That feels kind of arbitrary, but like, I just hope that anyone that interacts with me, it's like their day got a little bit better than if they didn't. Hopefully. Yeah. That's the idea.
Yeah.
And, make someone smile. Eye contact is a big one for me too. Listening. It's so easy to just not really listen. I think that's another kind of like societal thing that I try to go against is people hear a lot and talk a lot, but like how much listening happens,
Yeah.
it's, questionable.
Yeah.
Maybe if you know me, hopefully that is true. Saying it out loud is a little bit
Right?
vulnerable.
Like,
Like,
oh crap.
someone's like, oh really? Listening weight?
Oh,
That's your weight?
interesting. Yeah, is that aspirational?
Yeah. Someday listening is
Yeah.
going to be my weight.
Yeah. It's a 2026 goal.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Someday listening. What's going on your tombstone?
Yeah. Sure.
Like, yeah. But yeah, hopefully I could just be a positive moment. I like to make people laugh. Small one, but I would say like make someone laugh, make someone stay a little bit better.
No, I like that. I think the idea being that like when people are around you, they feel like you're more giving than taking.
Sure.
It's like, he's not here because he wants something from me.
Yeah.
But maybe like he has something to give.
Sure.
That we can all benefit from, which is going to make my day better.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good way of putting it.
There's people out there when like, we're like right away, it's like, you can tell it's like, okay, they're here to get something.
Yeah.
Like, or they're like, I think we all have had those relationships or experiences where it's like someone calls and you're like, they need something from me.
Yeah.
And it's like, ugh. And it's like, I always hope that I'm like, I hope no one ever experiences me that way. Maybe some people have, but it's like, ooh, like you just want people to feel like, oh, they're calling. I want to talk to them because, hopefully it's a good conversation and they're not always taken.
Yeah. You see that name pop up. You're like, oh, what is it?
Yeah.
What is it this time?
Exactly.
Yeah. Never want to be like that.
Yeah. Net positive. It's like giver, not a taker. It's like, I want you to have something in this conversation.
Yeah.
As opposed to always being like, I'm only going to talk to you if I need something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the listening component is a big piece of that for me.
Yeah.
Personally. Is leave it better than you found it in the sense that like you felt listened to. And
how can you make someone's day better if you don't know what's going on?
There's a phrase that kind of coming back to tangibles. I think you and I, Sam, go to the 10,000 foot view all the time.
Yeah, that's me. Low. That's my low.
Yeah, that's your low. Even higher. Yeah.
1,000, yeah.
But kind of bringing it to tangibles, and we always hope this podcast can kind of come back to tangibles, writing notes. A tangible for me in that is a buddy of mine said whenever he, is getting groceries, the checker or maybe the gal at the coffee shop on the cash register or whatever, you ask them how their shift is going. Instead of saying, how's it going? Good. How are you? Good. You say, how is your shift going? I've been so surprised. I almost never not get a one-word answer. Like it's always like they just start telling you their life story a little bit. And it's so interesting how simple that is. How's it going? How's your shift going? It's like, a couple word difference, but something about that just makes that person feel seen in that moment. And they say like, I'm just getting started tonight. It's going to be a long day. It's like, oh, like I just learned something about you. I don't even know you. Like I got to learn something about that person that I wouldn't have otherwise.
Yeah.
And, I do that almost everywhere I go now. And I challenge listeners to try it. It's amazing the kind of answers you can get.
Yeah.
If you say, how's your shift going?
It's a gateway too into like more questions, right?
Sure.
If they said that, my shift's just started, it's going to be a long night. Oh, is that going to be a long night? Like you are like, it's a gateway into a conversation. Just that, like, I want to use the word shift, but now the shift in the word question shift, but that a simple adjustment gets an engagement into a conversation.
Yeah.
Which I think part of the challenge there too is that if I'm at the grocery store or going to the bank, or do I actually care to have a conversation with that person, right?
Yeah, it's a challenge for myself too.
Yeah. It's like, or am I just trying to get through my day as opposed to seeing the person who's serving me, asking them a question, caring in that moment, listening in that moment, having a positive interaction. When it's like, we're around each other a lot as people. Yeah. But how often do we connect in those moments that we're around each other?
Yeah. And it is a challenge for me too that, just getting groceries. It's like, oh gosh, like, it's on the to-do list, right? And then you get your stuff and, Costco is so busy, I got to get through it. And you finally get to the check through line. You're like, let's speed this up. But then you take a second and say, how's your shift going? That takes you out of your own, day to day and knowing, like, takes you out of the take. What do you need? And you see the other person for that moment. And so it's a challenge for myself too, of like, hey, who is this person? They're a person and their day, their crappy day, just like I am, And so I think it's a net positive moment.
Love that.
But yeah, that'd be a tangible for me. So
yeah. As someone who's around you a lot, I think you leave a net positive.
Thanks, Sam.
Way more often than any other net. I don't know that I've experienced a net negative. So
thanks.
Success.
I can be pretty crabby in the morning though.
You're different in the morning. I've experienced that too.
Yeah.
But maybe it's because I get to carry most days all the way to the end.
That's true.
A net positive.
Sure. Yeah. Hey, net positive starting from the beginning all the way to the end, not just the morning. Yeah.
Yeah. If I leave early. No, I'm just kidding. No, even when you're what you would call grumpy, doesn't come off super grumpy.
Thanks, Sam. I've never seen you grumpy, so.
Well, I have my moments.
Maybe.
It's
not often.
Maybe not. Should I be grumpy more?
No.
Is that an invitation?
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, I should be careful what I say.
Yeah. No, I don't. I tend to be a generally positive person. I do have emotions and I express them.
Yeah, no. But emotions and like feeling negative or grumpy, not the same thing, right? Emotions, being emotional doesn't mean like you're doing bad. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like I don't find you not emotional. You have passionate emotions, but I just never see you grumpy or mad.
That's
I
fair.
see you mad, but anyway, we're not together.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been mad. No, yeah, I don't know that I'm often a grumpy person. I do get mad in the emotions, but emotions, maybe that's its own episode. That's a whole topic.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's not a podcast 11 topic. That might be down the road. Who knows?
Yeah. Need to have a few more dinners before we have that serious talk. Yeah. Maybe 20.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everyone, and watching to the Bamboo Method. We love making these. We love having conversations with each other, obviously, but then with our great guests. Go back and listen to any of the guests we mentioned today. They'll be linked. Also, we have a Patreon. I know we mention it in every episode, but there's a lot of great conversations that don't make it onto the regular feed that are only available on the Patreon. So go check that out. Patreon.com/Bamboo Method Pod, I believe. There'll be a link to it. And remember, anything worth building usually takes time. So let's remember that as we move forward. Thanks for listening. If you like the show, give us a follow wherever you're tuning in. It really helps us out. To see more, check out the links in the description and follow us on Instagram.